Hey guys, welcome back everyone. I know it's been a couple weeks. I hope you all had a wonderful holidays with your family and friends. Stay safe, stay warm. I know a lot of the East Coast and other states, even ones down south, got hit with a lot of snow. Frigid temperatures. I mean, it was low as minus 24, minus 30 degrees. So it was pretty cold. Now it's warm back up, thankfully. I want to show you guys a little gift I got and kind of read through it a little bit. I got this nice little cookbook here. It's Star Wars themed. Some of the stuff's from the movies, other things not so much. It's just regular cooking with a twist on it. So you see, Star Wars, the Life Day Cookbook, and of course the official the official recipes down here. Sorry, I cannot read from this way. Yeah, official holiday recipes from a galaxy far, far away. Now let's go ahead and show you guys this here. This is what the back looks like. Right, I'll go ahead and read the back real quick. So celebrate every Wookiee's favorite holiday, Life Day, with this collection of 50 recipes and crafts inspired by the galaxy's holiday traditions. The acclaimed, I'll hold more this way for you guys. The acclaimed Chef Strano Cookie Talks returns to bring you authentic Life Day recipes from the Wookiee's homeworld of Kashyyyk, a guide to celebrating the most famous holidays in the galaxy. This book also celebrates traditional festivities from planets such as Endor, Mancala, Alderaan, and beyond. This cookbook is great for chefs of any skill level, and you'll find mouth-watering recipes including Bantha Surprise, Washir Bramble, Jelly Life Day Orbs, and Mudhorn Eggnog. I personally don't like eggnog. Additionally, Cookie will also show you how to create family-friendly crafts from your very own Life Day Orbs to Wookiee robes that will let you celebrate Life Day, even if you're not on Kashyyyk. Guaranteed to help you spread Life Day's message of fellowship and love. This cookbook will be a scrumptious and festive mainstay in your kitchen. Let's go ahead and open it up. Here's the front for you guys. Nice little picture here. And then we got the stuff on this side over here too. See? And here's just another little screenshot for you guys. I'm using a laptop. I'll use my desktop some point I get a camera for it. But that is just what the inside looks like here. So, here's this nice little picture for you guys. A little space here. Like that. I love Star Wars. I love space. Now let's go ahead and read this here. I wish I could read this better, but I cannot because I cannot read very well like this. So, introduction. It's me again, your old pal Cookie, or Chef Strano Talks. If you want to get all formal about it, bringing you a heapin' helping of gastronomical goodness, specifically designed for your Life Day recipes, for Life Day rivalries. Sure, I might not seem like the festive type on the surface, but this new batch of dishes is about way more than just me. Let me explain. Last time I set out a collection of recipes from the edge of the galaxy, I thought I was making a definitive statement about who I was as a chef. I'd spanned the core to the outer rim, mastering the cuisines of countless cultures, and spicing them up with my own signature flair. And don't get me wrong, I still stand by every single one of those dishes. But as tasty as may have been, some of them were missing one important ingredient. See, back when I was head of chef at Maz Kanata's castle of Takodana, I found myself feeding hundreds of rogues, rebels, pirates, and bounty hunters each day, and every single one of them had a story to tell. Whether they realized or not, their tales are what shaped my recipes, inspiring new flavors and techniques that would speak to their unique palates on a personal level. When Maz's castle was destroyed by the First Order, I didn't just lose my kitchen, I lost that connection. And although The travels that followed may have led me to discovering all sorts of wild new ingredients and recipes. It was a pretty lonely journey. The direct link between chef and diner that had been always pushed by my meals to the next level had begun to fade without me even realizing. It wasn't until I finally look at this picture right here. Beautiful. Till I finally stopped traveling the galaxy and parked my food freighter for an extended stay on Batu that I was reminded of how crucial a person's touch is. For each and every plate, a connection is the key to turning a meal into a memory. I'm sure you all have me. I'm sure you all have meals that you remember. You first met at the restaurant or a dish you never tried before. Take some inspiration from that. Before I got to Batu, I didn't know all that much about Life Day. It wasn't really something we'd celebrated back on my home world. Artiad Minor. I knew about it. Life Day from Gourmandas, Holovitz. Sure, but just the basics. It had something to do with Wookiees and trees. And even though I was known to whip up my own special Worcestershire tree kale, now and then to help feed a few lonely travelers, marked the occasion. It'll be the first I'll be the first to admit that I never really got what it was all about, and probably showed. But the best chefs are the ones who are willing to admit they still have a lot to learn, both in the kitchen and in the world outside. And the more stories I heard about Life Day from the constant stream of customers flooding through the docking bay. Number 7. The more I realized how wrong I'd been about it all these years. I mean, I was right about some things. Life Day starting on the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk to honor an ancient tree that they believed was the source of all life in the world and the galaxy. The big lugs decorated their tree of life with glowing orbs, got all fancied up in their finest robes, and sang festive songs. Or at least I assume they were songs. Shiriwook mostly sounds like a bunch of garbled gowls to me. But as it turns out, the celebration wasn't limited only to folks of the tall and furry variety. See, deep at its core, Life Day wasn't really about Wookiees and trees at all. At least, not entirely. It was about that one exclusive ingredient I'd been searching for since I left Takodana. Connection with each other, with our traditions, and with the galaxy round us. So it's only natural that the true message behind Life Day would spread from Coruscant to Dakar, giving folks a spark of hope, even in the darkest days, and it was that kinda spark I'd been searching for myself. So as my new friends on Batu eagerly hung their oars and joined hands around the spire, I made sure to listen close to the stories they carried with them from all across the galaxy. Stories of life, day, a winter's heart, a solstice tide. No matter what they celebrated, to mark the midwinter months back home, I wanted to learn more, not only about what filled their beliefs, but what filled their hearts. Their stories are the inspiration of this new assortment of holiday themed recipes. Unlike my first collection, this batch ain't meant to make some sort of grand proclamation about my culinary point of view, because as much pride as I take preparing every of these dishes, like I said before, these ones aren't just about me. So let's go. There's a little bit more reading. I'll not have to show the picture of this, but here's the little appetizer section. So I'll read through this description, and then, like usual, I'll show you guys the picture, and I'll just read through. I'm not gonna read the specific ingredients. I'll just read the description of what the meal is, just so you guys can have a little taste, a little idea what's in this book. So first section, like I said, appetizers, and snacks. In my opinion, there ain't no better time than the holidays to share what we love with those around us. For some folks, that means sharing gifts. For most of my customers, it means sharing stories. For me, it means sharing food. And the easiest way to get the most food to the most people is by serving them a scrumptious spread of starters and snacks. Depending on the occasion, I found that an amazing assortment of apps like those often goes over even better than a massive multi-course meal. True. When I'm catering an event around the midwinter months, I like to whip up a sampling of small plates that highlights the seasonal traditions on a number of wallets. Sure, I may be throwing a left day soiree, but there's no reason to leave out the folks who celebrate something else. If one of these dishes can make them all feel at home, even if they're light years away from it, then I've done my job. In this section, you'll find some bite-sized holiday favorites from across the galaxy that are easy to cook and sure to please. Don't matter how many batches of them you make, they're sure to vanish faster than the ice cube on Tatooine. True, because Tatooine's like hundreds of degrees. It's terrible. I'm going to give maybe 2 to 3 examples per one just so I can kind of get through the book. For this first one, look at this beautiful picture right here. Looks yummy. Maybe it looks gross. Depends on your taste. The first one, She-Shock Fruit Bowls. There's something special about going home for the holidays, but all of us have got a place to go. See, I spent so many years in the kitchen of Maz's Castle at Takodana that it became more of a home to me than Artioid Monar ever was. After the castle fell, I found myself roaming the outer rim in my food freighter, without any world to truly call my own. When I'm feeling a little lost in this big old galaxy, I make myself a bowl of this simple fruit salad, which is always a favorite of Maz's most loyal patrons. I mix in whatever's in season from Joggin to Shora, but the sweetness of the Shishak is what really brings it all together. The Shishak happens to be a native to Kashyyyk, which makes this one perfect for Life Day, or any day that you need a little taste of home. Now, a little fun fact here. Take a drink break real quick. All of these meals are, put in difficulties from easy, intermediate to hard to expert, so you get an idea of how to practice your culinary skills with something a little fun. White chocolate, hot chocolate from Sheets, not sponsored. All right. Next one. This is spiced bog wings. Look at that yummy dessert. It looks like a dessert to me. Let's see what it is. On most worlds, when the holidays roll around, the weather starts to get colder. When temperatures drop, I like to come up with creative culinary creations that can help turn up the heat. That's where these little fellas come in. Bog wings are reptavians native to Naboo, but their meat can be found from a decent price in just about any market across the Outer Rim. I like to cook their wings with a blend of mouth-watering spices procured by my friend Kat Saka. Then bake them up in big batches. They make for a perfect party dish, but they sure probably come with a warming after all. After all, a single bite of one of these makes my mouth feel like it's gone straight to Mustafar. So this is a very spicy set of wings. If you like spicy, like me, you'll enjoy. So what else is in here? We got nuts in here. We got what looks. I'll read this one. This is not really an appetizer, but this is some French toast. Let's take a look at this. Milo flour toast. I said, chef, it ain't just my job to make food taste good. If I want my customers to pop something new into one of their mouth holes, I gotta make it look and smell good. To the things, to the mellow flower. That part of my job is easy. These fragrant edible blossoms are native to Naboo and class up just about any dish, turning a simple snack into something elegant and exquisite. Don't believe me? Just toast up a slice of bread, spread on some soft move milk cheese, top it with some local fruit or veggie, and add a few of these beautiful blooms. I enjoy this taste year round, but it's become a huge hit around Life Day, since the vibrant red hues seem to remind folks of the fancy robes that Wookiees wear during their sacred celebration. And now, the next section is called Side Dishes. Look at that. So, what are these side dishes about? A feast ain't much of a feast if I don't have all the fixins. No matter what day you serve it on, a big slab of roasted meat may look impressive on your table, but even a falon passet can't carry a holiday meal all on its own. Every chef knows that it's essential to have an array of carefully planned accompaniments to balance out the flavors and offer some much needed variation to the meal. When it comes to side dishes, I try to find ingredients that complement the main courses while adding something new and unexpected to the main course. Well, adding something new and unexpected to the plate. Sometimes it's a blast of flavor from a Thai food, other times it's a splash of color from a vibrant wage. But it's always something that brings out the best in everybody. Sides can also go a long way toward making a meal feeling more authentic. In the case of Life Day, that means going back to basics and focus on classic Kashikia cuisine. After all, can a feast really be considered traditional if shishak or ugu root ain't on the menu? According to most Wookiees, I know, absolutely not. I know that cooking up all these extra components seems like a lot of labor for little reward. But if you're willing to put in this work and take things from meat to meal, I promise it'll make all the difference. The first one we have is plicated orca root. This is the little thing they're talking about here. It looks like bread or something, you know? Maybe a yam or potato, not sure. It's a potato. Actually, sweet potato. One of the first things I learned as a chef was to respect my ingredients. In most cases, that just means bringing out the very best in every dish to maximize each component's natural flavor. But in the case of Kashik's Olga root, respect has got to go a lot further than that. Though it ain't carnivorous, like its fellow native plant salva, the Orga still has aggressive defense mechanisms to protect itself from potential harm. Its strong sharp vines and acid pods are more than enough to fend off even the strongest of Wookiees. But as it turns out, an Orga plant will offer its roots freely to folks who treat them with just the right amount of admiration. Orga, Orga may grow way down on Kashik's forest floor, but they've earned a reverence from the plant's population that has elevated them to nearly sacred status. And next, well, this is another side dish. We have Rorkid, Rorkid, Rorkid. It's hard to say, I know. Rorkid bread. Look at that. It kind of looks like garlic knots, but like sugar or something. So what is it? If one of my famous soaps or stews finds their way into the menu for your midwinter festivities, you can bet that your guests won't leave a single bite of broth behind at the bottom of the bowl. And although a spoon usually gets the job done just fine, there's nothing quite like soaking up those last few drops of the nice hunk of seasoned bread. Truth be told, bacon hasn't always been my strong suit, but I get well enough. And in the case of this pungent, every knot of Endorian roasted bread, I've got the Ewoks to thank for a recipe that I managed to make every year. This winter roll is traditionally served alongside bowls of kubalog curry, but I'd be equally good alongside anything else you happen to be laying out. And now, due to time, we might be able to get a couple more sections in, but this one is our delicious main courses. Look at that. And I will have a link to this book in the description box below, so you guys can look through it. You guys can buy it yourselves if you're interested, and you'll have it for yourself. When you spend your days cooking, From a food freighter, you find yourself feeding an endless stream of hungry customers at every port you visit. That means you gotta focus on techniques that maximize flavor while keeping cooking time to a minimum. Over the years, I've mastered fast and flavorful cuisine, but now every now and then, I like to slow things down, make a fancy meal using time-tested ingredients. Lucky for me, most folks prefer their life day meals with an extra dash of tradition. When appetizers alone just don't feel special enough, one of these main courses can serve as a centerpiece for just about any holiday banquet. From exotic meals to hearty stews, they're all designed to showcase the flavors of the midwinter months while appealing to diverse and discerning palates. Serving just one of these traditional dishes on your special day should be more than enough to impress almost any guest. But if you want to go to the extra parsec, make a few options to help out folks with dietary needs different from your own. Whatever you choose to cook, be sure to respect the meal as much as you do to the day it's served on for me. That means actually taking my time to enjoy preparing it. If that's something you just can't manage, then promise me you'll at least try to enjoy eating it. Here's our first one. I think it's octopus or squid, but this is called Trask Chowder. Trask Chowder. Trask Chowder. There ain't much on the moon called Trask, other than endless oceans and a few black market ports. But anyone who's touched down on the watery world has, like simply, the moon's famous chowder, a thick fishy soup, sometimes with rice depending on the chef, made in large batches and dispensed in the bowls of hungry diners. Through ceiling melted horses, these hearty dishes was designed to warm up Trask local fisherfolk after a long day at sea. So it's a natural addition to any midwinter celebration. What it lacks in appearance, this chowder makes up for in taste. And if you're lucky, some bowls even come with an extra treat, a live cephalopod that adds unexpected bursts of flavor. If you got any little ones around, though you probably gotta make sure they want to stick to the broth and rice just to be safe. I'm going to skip to the next section here and do one more. And here's the next one. This is desserts. And that's all for today. I'll get back to it next time. Have a great